Hello everybody and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt and on today's episode we are talking about Game of Thrones Season 6, the theories on Season 7, and you know what? So excited about this. Premieres in like 2 days. I can't believe it's already here and I can't believe this is the second to last season. That is crazy to me, and this season is going to be off the chain. It's just like last season where we don't have any books to follow, which is going to be really strange, and wondering where in the world anything is going with this. So you just can't predict. You cannot predict. And let's just get into it, I guess. Okay, so let's start where we left off. We will start with Cersei Lannister, who has just blown up the Sept and gotten rid of all of her enemies and thousands of the people who are supposed to be her people, technically, and her son Tommen, her last living, breathing child, committed suicide because of what happened, so that is a big thing. And what I'm thinking, I mean, this has gotta be Cersei's last season, right? Like, she can't live past this. She's turning it, she's the Mad Queen now. That is her title, really. She has done exactly what Mad King Aerys did to get killed. And quite honestly, I think it's pretty safe to say that Jaime Lannister, her lover, her twin, her, that is just so gross to say out loud, but he is going to be the one to kill her, because that is what that fateful prediction by that crazy lady from like season 5 or whenever, when she was told that all of her children would die young and before her, also said that she would be vanquished by her younger brother, which she always assumed to be Tyrion, but Jaime is also her younger brother. So we'll see what happens. I think it's a pretty safe theory and a pretty safe guess. So yeah, Cersei's gonna die this season. She's not living to season 8. That's just not happening. And I think that's kind of the right way to do that, because right now in Game of Thrones, yes, no one's safe, but there are a couple people that are safe. I mean, you're not gonna see Jon Snow die, at least until the finale of the entire series. You're not gonna really see Tyrion, probably not gonna see Dany die. Jaime Lannister is probably not gonna die for a while, but I would also, like, that's a bit more predictable. Like, if he died, it's less crazy if any of those other 3 died. I don't think Sansa's gonna die or Arya's gonna die. Those are kind of like the core people that you feel pretty safe with right now. So I think it's really important for the people who are writing the show and for HBO to put on something that reminds them of season 1 and the beheading of Ned Stark, or the Red Wedding with Robb and Catelyn Stark. Like, you need to be surprised again, you know? Like, we were surprised Hodor died because no one expected. Oh, by the way, this is gonna have spoilers, so if you haven't seen season 6, you probably should not be watching this, because I just spoiled a pretty sad thing. So yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that one of those big core characters is gonna die, and honestly, I'm putting all of my money, all of it that I have, on Cersei. She's not surviving this season. Why would she? I mean, you've got, even in the promos, it says, you know, I've got enemies to the west, enemies to the east, north, south. Got enemies literally in the Red Keep with her, so she's gonna die, you guys. It's happening. I think that season 7 as a whole is going to be the fight for the Iron Throne, but I don't think it's gonna matter, because season 8 is going to be the fight for humankind, and that's what's gonna matter. And honestly, the Iron Throne's probably not even gonna exist by the end of the series. And who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows if Westeros is going to become like this sort of nation of independent countries type of thing. I don't know if that made any sense, but basically have, like, you have the king or queen in the north, you have the Iron Islands have their own queen, you have Dorne having their own queen. It could just spread on. All of these things could all make up one trust, you know, that could be led by Daenerys. Who knows? I don't think it's gonna be Jon. I don't think Jon wants it. In fact, I honestly do not think that Jon Snow is going to be King of the North. I think it's gonna go to Sansa, and I think she deserves it, you know, especially considering Jon Snow is not a true Stark, and that's not saying because he's a bastard, because he's not he is kind of a bastard, but he's a Targaryen and Stark, which means that he also has a claim to the Iron Throne, which Dany's not gonna like. But you know who's also back, and Dany's probably not gonna like it? Gendry's back. He finally got off that stupid rowing boat. We know that we're gonna get some Gendry. Joe Dempsey has shown up at the LA premiere of Game of Thrones, and I'm so excited that he's back on. He is the last true heir to Robert Baratheon. He is a Baratheon, and I'm just excited to see what they do with that. Like, are they just gonna end up killing him off, or is he gonna like team up with Daenerys? I don't know. I have no clue. I'm assuming that it's not gonna be anything like they're gonna fall in love, because I don't think they're gonna do that with Dany. I think that she's going to be content by herself and not feel the need to ever fall in love. I think that her true love is Drogo, and that's how it is. You know, Dany will probably be on the Iron Throne, but who knows? One thing that stuck with me was when Daario Naharis, I think he was the one that said that she is the wandering queen. You know, she's the conqueror. She wants to do all of this, and there's still a whole other half of the world that has not been explored. You have Westeros, and you have like the Slaver's Bane, all of that kind of stuff. And then to the east of Westeros, I believe, to the west of Westeros, there's land that is completely unseen. Well, it's probably seen, let's be real. There's natives there at some point. And Arya even brought this up, and who knows what Arya is going to do this season. I'm assuming she's going to reunite with the Starks. I think it's pretty safe to say that for the Starks in the North in general, all of them are going to reunite. You're going to get Arya back up there, and I think they even kind of confirmed it, honestly, because Sophie Turner, who plays Sansa, has given an interview saying how it's a little bit awkward and weird between the two of the characters. So I think we're definitely seeing that. Bran's for sure going down there. He has to pass along the message to Jon that he's not actually a bastard of Ned Stark. He is the bastard of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark, so that's different. Could you imagine if like Catelyn was still alive and she found that out and she just felt so bad about treating Jon Snow so terribly his entire life? Like, at least we got last season this really great moment with Sansa and Jon when they reunited, and you know, they're probably the two Starks that you never really thought of being related in any way. And it was really nice to see that they were kind of the first ones. They mended the fence. You know, Sansa felt sorry for how she treated him, and Jon, you know, he was understanding, and he didn't hold it against her at all. And I think that really goes to character growth on both of them, which is something that, God, the show's done so well since season 1, is with the Starks, with this character growth. I think Arya is she's probably been the most stagnant of them, and it's, I don't know with Arya. I didn't like her whole storyline in Bravos and becoming an assassin. I think it's nice that she has those abilities now, because that's gonna really help out. But it was a little much. Like, yeah, I mean, to go through all of that and to still, I mean, it was really just about discovering herself and reminding herself that she is Arya Stark of Winterfell, and it's nice that she's back in Westeros now and she killed Walder Frey, which we were all so happy about after the Red Wedding. Oh, the fact that he didn't die sooner is the worst part about all of that. And I think with the Iron Islands, I think that is probably the hardest thing to predict what's going to happen. You don't know if Yara and Theon are gonna come on top, or if it's gonna be Euron. Like, you just don't know. And I would think and I would hope that Yara would come on top, but Theon, I think it's a good bet that he might die. I think he's gonna redeem himself this season and then immediately get murdered. And it could be the reason Yara gets so fired up and actually beat Euron and claim her throne that's rightfully hers, in my opinion. But I think it would be really sad to see both Yara and Theon fail in their mission and lose to Euron. But at the same time, when you add all of their fleets and everything to Daenerys, it seems like Daenerys is completely unstoppable, because she has also got Dorne and Highgarden. So she's got the Tyrells, and she's got Larya Sand, and she's got all of her people. She's got the Unsullied, she's got what do they call it? The Dothraki. She's got all of this, so who could beat her? And I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do with the battle that we kind of saw between the Unsullied and the Lannisters. I think that's really interesting. Maybe that they're going after Casterly Rock before they go after King's Landing. So we'll see how that goes. And then there's the stuff going on in the High North, and we'll see exactly what it is. I think it's probably also a good bet that the season ends with the wall crumbling down. And I also think that that comes with all of the Night's Watch being murdered. I don't think there's saving any of them at all. I mean, there's not many left, but I really think they're all going to die. If not the finale of this season, I think it's the premiere of the 8th season. Because that whole last season has got to be about the fight for humanity. It's not going to be about the Iron Throne. That's not going to matter at all. And I think what we're going to see is a lot in these next 2 seasons, especially the very last season. We're going to be seeing all of these characters in one room deciding what to do. You're going to see Jon Snow and Daenerys and Tyrion, possibly Jaime, Sansa, Arya. I hope Lord Baelish dies before it, but we're probably going to see him too. Let's talk about Lord Baelish. He needs to die. Like, if he does not die this season and by the hands or thoughts of Sansa, I'm going to be so mad. And it's going to be interesting to see how Jon and Baelish interact as well. So, yeah. And also, to all those people who ship Jon and Sansa, I know it's more acceptable now that we know that they're just cousins, because in the Game of Thrones world, that's totally fine. Cousins marry cousins all the time, but it's still a little weird, and I don't think that's where they're going. I genuinely don't. I don't think that Sansa's gonna end up with anybody. I think she's gonna find her way on her own. And you know what? If she does end up with anybody, put her with someone who's just a nice guy, who has really, really no big moments in the show, like Pod. Let's put her with Pod. Podrick's such a sweet guy. If he dies, I'm gonna be so mad because he's just always there. It's kind of like Hodor. He's always there, and you always appreciate him, and he's slowly learning. I mean, Hodor wasn't really learning, but he was really valuable to Bran. Pod, and I love what they've been doing with Pod and Bran. Super smart, in my opinion. So he better not die. And also Brienne. Oh my god, I don't know. The more and more I talk, the more and more I think Jaime's gonna die, because I think we're gonna see Brienne and Jaime together again one last time, and I think it's gonna be involving Cersei's death, and I think if he doesn't die this season, he's gotta die sometime in the last season, probably fighting the White Walkers or something. Who knows? There's so much that could happen. I haven't even talked about half of the things. I haven't even talked about Dorne or Lady Olenna, who is just Savage Queen. I love Lady Olenna. I think that she is gonna be fun to see some of these episodes with. Like, her meeting Daenerys, that's gonna be fun. Like, that is, oh, I can't wait. And on that note, I hope you guys like this sort of, not really review, but this theory talk on Game of Thrones. And please join me on Monday, where I'm going to be reviewing the first episode of season 7 of Game of Thrones. If you guys like the video, give a thumbs up, comment down below what are some theories that you have involving Game of Thrones season 7. What did you guys think of season 6? Also, don't forget to subscribe. I put out videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday, especially if you want to see all my Game of Thrones content all on Mondays. So subscribe, please. And I will see you guys on Monday. Bye!